The Eagles are 8-1 for a second consecutive season, but the real question is, can they go all the way this year? We'll talk about that and predict their record in the Gauntlet. What is up, everybody? RB here. Welcome into A to Z Philly. Do me a favor, drop a like on this video if you enjoy the content, comment down below, subscribe, ring the bell. It is the bye week. We can officially take a deep breath, right? Especially after that cardiac game last week against Dallas. But the Eagles are 8-1. What does it mean? Can they keep this up? The real test is about to begin next week as the Eagles prepare to take the Chiefs. But I want to talk about not only that game, but the 4 games after. 5-game gauntlet. The Eagles have a very, very tough schedule. It'll tell us a lot about who this team is, but how many games do you think they can win out of the 5? Give me your realistic prediction down below. And before we jump into all of it, a shout out to our sponsor of today's video, BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using the code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. So find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Right now, the Eagles are actually listed as a plus 500 to win the Super Bowl. What do you think? What do you think? Is that fair? They're number 2, slightly behind the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's where we'll start. But I just want to take 1 second to talk about how I feel about this team, because as much as we have picked them apart, as much as there has been to, criticize and look at and analyze and say this needs to get better, that needs to improve, etc., the fact of the matter is they're 8-1. It's already hard enough to start a season 8-1. It is almost impossible to do it back-to-back years, and I think Brian Dawkins on WIP described it best the other day. Brian Dawkins, talking about the Eagles, says they're a, quote, ugly 8-1. And he says this is actually a good thing. It's beneficial because it allows them to stay motivated and fix mistakes. I think that is a very, very great point. The Eagles are not satisfied. They're not riding high and saying, oh, we're untouchable, nobody can get to us. They're saying, no, we still have things to fix, and that will keep this team locked in and motivated, especially over these next 5 weeks. So I think the best way to describe them is an ugly 8-1. And again, at the end of the day, they find ways to win games. They find ways to pull it out, even if it's not the best for your health. They find ways to do it. And, things could be a lot worse. So I'm very satisfied that they are 8-1, and I think the next 5 weeks will tell us a lot. But let's go ahead and look at their schedule, because this is probably, I don't know who made the schedule, but this is a wild stretch, right? They probably looked at the Eagles going to the Super Bowl, how good they were. They said, we need to challenge these boys, right? Kansas City next Monday, then Buffalo, San Fran, Dallas, and Seattle. Then the last 3 games are New York twice, who absolutely blows. By the way, Giants stink. I just want to throw that out there as another reminder. But the Giants stink. Arizona's 1-8. They stink. So really, it's going to come down to these 5 games, right? The Eagles need to win, in my opinion, 3 of these games. They have to go at least 3-2. If they go 4-1, if they were to ever go 5-0, holy crap, hold the press. This team's going all the way. We know that for sure. But look, Kansas City is going to be a tough game. It's on ESPN Monday night. Everybody's going to be tuned in. And, Kansas City 7-2. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll come down to a few possessions, but Pat Mahomes is just always a thorn in the side, and it's just so tough to take down Andy Reid and the Chiefs. And I'm going to pick that game as a loss. I don't think it'll be, defining. I don't think it'll be deafening to the Eagles. I don't think this one makes me feel any worse. Like, if you see them again later in the Super Bowl, I think the Eagles can beat them. They should have last year. I think that game's going to be a loss. And keep in mind, again, a couple losses here are okay. Like, it's not a terrible thing. I think Buffalo will be a win. That team has struggled mightily over the last maybe 3-4 weeks, right? They've almost lost a couple easy games. San Francisco's lost 3 in a row. Not really a big believer in them right now. I think the Eagles will get the Brock Purdy. I think that's a win. The second game in Dallas, 8:20 p.m. game on a Sunday night. Another one I think is going to be chippy. I think it's going to be close. And coming into the season, I expected the Eagles to split with Dallas. So I'm going to pick Dallas to win that game slightly. The Eagles usually split. But at that point, hopefully the Eagles will be enough games up that they don't really have to sweat about the division. Plus, again, you have 3 easy ones later on. So I think that game will go to Dallas. I think it could go either way. That, to me, is one that could go either way. I'm going to pick Dallas. And then I think the Eagles on the road going to Seattle, a tight, low-scoring game. Geno Smith keeps the Seahawks in it, but I think the Eagles pull it out in the fourth quarter. So I am going to go 3-2 over the next 5 games. 3-2. That would put the Eagles at 11-3. And if you told me through 14 games they will be 11-3, man, I am the happiest man in the world. I'm standing on top of the earth. I'm celebrating. I'm happy. You look at this tough schedule. You tell me that they're 11-3 through 14 games. I'm not mad at it at all. I thought there would be a couple they may slip up on early in the season. They have found ways to win games. This Eagles team is clicking. And when I look at some of the other teams out there right now, let's think about the Niners. Again, struggling. Dallas, they literally were gifted a chance to win that game last week. They still could not capitalize. Seattle got blown out by the Ravens. And again, Baltimore is definitely trending up. They blew out Seattle the week before. They blew out Detroit, which is the other team that they just showed me what they were. You don't get blown out like that if you are a true contender. So I think, Seattle and Detroit kind of were, exposed a bit. And I think Dallas is struggling, to even beat a team that's trying to gift them a game. San Francisco's struggling. Kansas City's Kansas City, and Buffalo's struggling. And I think Baltimore and maybe Cincinnati are trending upwards. So, looking at these teams, I think the Eagles have a really good shot if they go 3-2 over these next couple games to get that 1 seed, to lock it up, get to the playoffs, have a week off to get healthy, and go on another big run here. I think this will really tell us who this Eagles team is, because as much as we want to pick them apart, as much as we want to criticize, if they win against some of these teams, then who cares, right? Who cares how they get it done? The fact of the matter is they got it done, right? If they win some of these games, I don't care what happened against the Jets. They need to go out against the big dogs, benchmark games, and have a crucial run. And that is how I feel about this Eagles team. I think they have the talent. The coaching needs to be more consistent. And I think that really, Jalen Hurts needs to stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, and obviously losing Dallas Goedert is a big piece there, but if other guys can step up similar to how they did back in 2017, this team could go on a run, and this time hopefully finish the job. They have now been there. They now have the experience. It's just about, who can prolong this run. So we will see, man. Eagles, Chiefs next week going to be a heck of a game. I think it'll be more high scoring, and man, hopefully the Eagles can get a little bit of revenge against Patrick Mahomes for what he did in that second half of the Super Bowl. We'll see how it all plays out, but give me your record prediction down below over the next 5 games, the Gauntlet. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and with that being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.